On a tranquil Saturday, my phone vibrated with a message that froze my blood. "Our boy's in the ER." I forwarded it to my wife, my hands tightening on the steering wheel as I raced to the hospital. Her reply pinged back almost instantly, chillingly aloof. "I'm stuck at my parents' cookout. Can't get away." Then, her mother's vicious remark about my son shattered my restraint. I cut off their financial anchors. The mortgage, the car loan, their credit cards, all severed. It was a balmy afternoon when my phone's piercing chime sliced through the calm of my kitchen. I dropped the plate I was wiping dry and answered. The school's voice on the line struck like a blow. My son had collapsed during gym, now speeding to the hospital in an ambulance. My vision blurred. I bolted out, pulse pounding, car roaring to life. As I drove, my trembling fingers sent a text to my wife, Claire. "Our son's in the emergency room. I'm heading there." Her response, arriving moments later, cut deep. She was at her parents' barbecue, too occupied to leave. No questions, no worry, just an empty silence. I reread it, shock fogging my thoughts. My son's mother chose a gathering over his crisis. At the hospital, I found him pale, an oxygen line trailing across his face beneath stark lights. The doctor explained it was a severe asthma attack, aggravated by the day's heat and dust. He was stable but needed rest and careful observation. I clasped his small hand. "You're okay, buddy. I'm right here." His weak smile shattered me. "Where's Mom?" he murmured. I had no words, but her absence burned into my soul, a wound I couldn't ignore. By evening, my son slept soundly, out of danger. I sat in the hospital cafeteria, nursing a cup of acrid coffee, still shaken. Claire hadn't appeared, hadn't called, hadn't texted again. I checked my phone, nothing. In a fog of rage, I opened her social media. She'd shared updates all day. Sizzling patties on the grill, a drink in her hand, her father playing horseshoes. One caption read, "Family time is the best." The irony stung like a lash. Then came the tipping point, a snippet in a video. Her mother, Margaret, chuckled, saying, "That boy's always ill. Probably just craving attention. Frail like his father." I replayed it, each syllable stoking a blaze within. I'd funded their mortgage, bought her father's cherished truck, covered their cards, their insurance, everything. And they ridiculed my son, lying in a hospital bed. I didn't yell or lash out. Instead, I opened my laptop, tapped into the hospital's Wi-Fi, and began dismantling their world with cold precision. Each click felt like reclaiming my worth. First, their mortgage. I'd co-signed their home years ago, tying payments to my account. A few keystrokes and the autopay was gone. Next, the loan for their gleaming SUV they loved to show off. I stopped the payments. The bank would act soon, and repossession would follow. Then their credit cards linked to my name, deactivated with one command. I didn't stop there. Their health, dental, and even the extravagant life insurance I'd gifted, canceled. No legal duty tied me to their support. Automated emails would hit their inboxes by dawn. Finally, Claire's phone, still on my plan, data severed, access blocked, her Apple ID locked. She'd notice when her next photo failed to upload. I drafted an email to Claire's younger brother, Tom, who'd always treated me with kindness. "Tom," I typed, "this isn't about revenge. It's about respect. I've cared for your family as my own. But after what was said about my son during his crisis, I can't back those who belittle his pain. I hope you'll see my side one day." I closed my laptop. As my son slept nearby, his breathing steady, I realized I wasn't just cutting financial cords. I was freeing myself emotionally. They'd face the consequences soon. The next morning felt serene for me. I sipped coffee by my son's bedside, his health improving. The doctor said he'd recover with rest. My phone, however, was a tempest. At 7:18 a.m., Claire called. I let it ring. Her father tried next, call declined. By 7:22, their mortgage payment bounced, an email notifying them. Claire left a voicemail I didn't hear. At 7:27, Margaret texted, "Did you cut off our cards? They're not working at the store." I grinned into my coffee. By 8 o'clock, their family first group chat erupted. Claire's father, "What have you done? This is too much." Her mother, "You're ungrateful. We treated you like one of us." I waited, then replied. My son was in the ER. You partied. Claire didn't come. You showed me what family means. Now I'm showing you what I don't owe. I sent it, a burden lifting from my heart. Later, a nurse approached. A woman's here, Claire. I found her in the waiting area. Hair messy, eyes bloodshot, keys gripped tightly. Are you for real? She snapped. Cutting everything off? I held her stare. Funny. I thought the same when you ignored my ER text. She stumbled, then softened. Let's talk. I screwed up. My parents too. I raised a hand. This isn't revenge, Claire. It's protection. I'm guarding my son from those who don't care about him, including you. Her lips trembled, keys biting into her hand. You'll regret this, she said. I exhaled. No, you will. When the bank takes your car, when the house is gone, when you see your safety net was someone you dismissed. She stormed out, quiet, the truth sinking in. Days later, my son was released, healthy but advised to rest. I took him to my new apartment, fully furnished, a clean break from Claire's house. She unraveled. Her SUV was repossessed at her job, a colleague's video catching her tears as it was towed. Her parents called from a new number, her father's voice gentler. Can we talk, just us? We said things we shouldn't have. But cutting everything, it'll wreck our credit. I replied, maybe next time my son's in the ER, you won't grill burgers and call him a burden. He pleaded. What do you want? I said, I want you to know what it's like to feel expendable. I want Claire to stop seeing people as cash machines. Most of all, I want my son to know his dad stood up for him. He hung up silent. That night, Claire showed up at my door, weary, her voice frail. I'm sorry, she said. For what? I asked. For not coming, for letting them talk that way, for leaving you alone. I saw the truth in her eyes, not regret for her choices, but for what she'd lost. She glanced at our son, snug in his blanket, watching cartoons. Can I stay? Just to be near him. I opened the door wider, pointing out. Co-parenting, Claire. Saturday. Don't be late. Stunned, she left without a word. 6 months later, life settled into a new cadence. My son thrived, better grades, brighter smiles, restful nights. Claire and I used a co-parenting app, all business, no conflict. She became careful, even polite. Her parents moved to a rental after defaulting on loans. Their grand parties a distant memory. One day, as we assembled a Lego spaceship, my son said, I like when it's just us, Dad. My heart soared. Me too, buddy. I didn't aim to ruin lives, only to shield his. I found peace, not in retribution, but in knowing he was safe, cherished, and never overlooked. Was this justice balanced? What would you have done? Share your thoughts. Pass this tale to someone who needs its spark, and stay tuned for more stories of betrayal and redemption. Every decision carries a cost, every slight a shadow. Stay sharp, stay bold.